Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. We're going to jump right into it. Today we are going to have a tutorial on how to paint a cowboy. As you can see, the paints I'm using are Mariam paints. They are safe for the body. And I just dip it into some clean water, even though that doesn't look very clean, to mix them up. So let's get started. So when you look at your face, you want to kind of look at the structure you got going on and kind of map out what you're going to do. I often like to start with my nose. So that in this case, it's going to be the cowboy's hat. So as you can see, I was moving my mouth around to just see how my face moves and where the lines kind of will end up. And I'm just filling in some brown paint here. And I have two different types of brown here. I have a lighter one and a darker one. And I just kind of mix them together. The darker one dries really dark, but the lighter one matches my skin tone. So I wanted to find the in-between, and the paints blend really, really nicely. It's kind of similar to watercolor actually, but then dries like it looks like it's acrylic. So I'm just making the top of the hat here, and if it's easier for you, you can always draw an outline first and fill it in second. It just depends on the level of difficulty. I just kind of do different techniques depending on what character I'm doing, and when it comes to cowboys, it can be pretty simple. So there's different ways you can make the hat, but I just wanted to do basic front view of a cowboy hat. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You can just kind of wing it at this point, and we will do the finishing touches later. So the next thing I do is, instead of trying to hide my nostrils, I like to fill it in with black paint so that it blends in the video. It is not the most pleasant part of painting, but it definitely helps with the shadows when you're filming your cowboy. And if you are ticklish at all, this is the worst part. 10 out of 10, don't recommend. But that's okay. So moving on, I'm just rinsing out my brush a little bit and looking at where I want to put his mustache. So we don't have a lot of space for his face. So the best place to actually place his mustache is on my upper lip. And everyone's face will be a little bit different, but I found this to work the best, and it actually allows you to move the face of your character a lot better, and it looks a lot cuter. So I'm just adding some more strands of the mustache here. It's pretty fun, starting to get fun, coming to life. Okay, so we have the hat and we have the mustache. Next, I'm going to dip into some of my white paint and make the eyeballs. You don't want to go too high with the eyeballs because then they kind of hide under the hat. And you don't want to go too small with them either. They will never be in proportion with your mouth. Your mouth is going to be the biggest part of your painting, but I like to draw larger eyeballs just to make the character more expressive. And in the end, it actually makes it way more proportional. So, kind of fun, kind of food for thought. And I do the eyes kind of early so that it allows them to dry. Otherwise, you can get pretty impatient wanting to have your eyes be finished, but you're waiting on the white to dry at the end. So now I'm going to give him a nose. And you can look up different types of noses to do. I've done pointy noses. I've done a clover nose. I wanted this cowboy to have just a nice little circle nose, and here I'm then outlining the mustache as well to make it pop. So as you've seen before in any of my tutorials, when you add the dark lines, that's really what makes the character pop. It's that kind of cartoony look. And so if you want any features to stand out, just add black. If you don't, then leave it alone. So in this case, I thought it looked pretty good. All right, so next we are going to figure out where to put his hair coming out from the hat. And it's really easy to want to kind of go at an angle, but you need to kind of look at where the end crease is on your mouth. So as you can see here, I'm lining it up. Otherwise, it gives him sort of a raindrop head, not a round head. So kind of interesting. This is kind of cool. If you're ever painting any type of designs on your face, when you do a straight line, it'll make the line curved. If you do a curved line, it'll make the line look like it's straight because you're painting on a round surface. So keep that in mind. Now I'm just going to draw his ears, and I think I'm going to give him nice big ears. And again, you can cover up the ears, you can do littler ears. It's whatever you want. And then as you bring the lines down around the mouth, you kind of go more square. But again, this is all preference. So I wanted to make him look more round and a little bit older. So this is the fun part. You can get creative with any of this. Give him a longer neck, shorter neck. But I really wanted to give him a cowboy's vest. I thought that would be pretty fun, pretty fitting. And it's really just suggestive at this point. You don't have to go too detailed. The most detailed part would be around the mouth, as you've seen. But there are other artists where they draw the body all the way down their neck. And if you decide to do this, it's super fun. You can kind of make him dance. But just remember that the proportions, it'll disappear a little bit under your chin. So you actually will make his torso 3 times as long as you normally would make it. So now I'm just outlining the hat to make it kind of pop here. And if you're following along, feel free to pause the video anytime and rewind anything you need to. But it's pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty fun. You can really start playing around with any type of design. My favorite design, obviously, is cowboys and horses. I'm a horse girl at heart. But it's just really fun to kind of decorate your characters how you see fit. So you can see it's starting to come to life. It's pretty fun. I'm just going to give him some details on his ears now that that's drying a little bit better. And if you guys come across any troubleshooting issues where you messed up and you want to erase it, it's not the end of the world. I would just grab a Q-tip, I would dip it in some water, and I would slowly just remove the paint, let it dry, and then start over. Here's where I sort of messed up on the eye. It kind of bled into his mustache. So I'm just going to let it dry and then decide what I want to do with it later, whether I'm going to remove it or try and make it work. Then you can just make the eyes however you want. You can make tiny pupils. You can make larger pupils. I like to do larger ones so that I can do a fun color. I think I'm going to make his eyes blue, if I remember right. And then I'm just outlining his hair, just like I did his mustache, to try and make him match a little bit. And make sure that when you're doing this, you make your character dance and move a lot so you can see if any parts of him kind of hide away in the creases of your face. And if there's adjustments that you need to make, then make them. Now I'm just filling in his vest, doing the same color as his hat, or roughly the same color as his cowboy hat. And as you can see, I'm focusing very hard on this. It's really just all about having fun. And then I just wanted to go simple Western colors, so I just did just a dirty white shirt underneath, and you get the idea. It's just all suggestive. But the lights and darks really make the characters pop. And then you can add some light marks throughout your characters to kind of make them pop out a little bit more. Or you can just leave it plain. It's whatever you decide. I always like to add a little shadowing. You can even go darker on the hat with certain parts, but I don't think I did that here. I just wanted to add in all the fun little details. I thought some facial hair might be fun. And as you can see, I didn't outline any of the facial hair. I just kind of placed it onto there. Looking good, looking good. And now I'm adding in some, I think it's teal. I'm not sure what color blue it is, but it really pops on camera. So I like to paint him with that. And you could fill in a whole background if you want after this. Oh yeah, here I'm trying to fix the mistake, and I decided it's not worth it. I don't want to take the time to do that on camera, so I just decided to make this eye match the other one and bring it down a little bit further, and then you don't even notice that it was there. Pretty cool. So like I said, you could fill in the background after this, and I would just suggest if you do a background to go back over the outlining one more time after you've put the background on to make it pop and have clean lines. But that's pretty much it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I would love to see any characters you create, so feel free to send them in. I will definitely share your videos, and I'm just thankful to be spreading all the joy and fun. Oh yeah, don't forget this. You could give him some fun, some dirty cowboy teeth if it suits you. Anyways, guys, really appreciate you all. Thanks for being here on my tutorial, and have fun painting. See you next time.